great weekend here at my home in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Carrying on, how many of you have seen the latest Night at the Museum movie? It's in memory of Robin Williams. Y'all should go see it. His daughter Zelda would appreciate it. You can purchase the CD, the Night at the Museum. It helps. It goes to good cause. Every bit helps. Much love to Zelda out there. I know your father misses you a great deal. Just remember, when you think about him most, look up at those stars at night. Your mom, and he's staring right down at you, wanting to know he's not far away from your bedside. It's a gift from God himself. Much love. Right here at home. Also, how many of you know where Colombian coffee comes from? That's the magic word. That's right, Brazil. Also, not just Colombian coffee, all kinds of things going on at Bar Library. Let's see here. Here's one for something your parents could do. Look at that one. Mark Sullivan's latest trial. Carry it on. Yoga for kids. Thursday. What date? February 26th. There you go, at the Bar Library. Keeping them employed. See that? For more information, call that number. If they're ever going to have another date, you might have to check it out. Alright. Coupons 101, Tuesday. There you go. Lincoln. How many know anything about President Lincoln? Check that out. How many know anything about them? Ta-da! Things that didn't keep the library going in every other library. What it is around the world, go to bookstores. It's a great place to keep literature going, the fundamentals of English language. How many know what's the abbreviation for more than 20% of mammals on region has been designated traditional Indian land, 8.7% territory. A known fact. Your school teachers will teach you. Protected by a federal conservation unit, the Amazon. That's right. See that? Brazil, Salvador, San Juan, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo. God bless all of you out there and your families. Muchos gracias. Mi casa, su casa. That's in God's eyes. We're all equal. Much love. Okay, see the bookstore, bar, library. Carrying on. Let's go to courtesy of Walt Disney movies. Lion King, all of them. Da-da-da-da. Where after? God so loved the world, he gave his only son. Whoever should believe shall have everlasting life. Remember, kids, day and night that God is there for you, whether you know it or not. If anybody understands what you're going through, it's gone. From somebody who tries very hard for people to stop preventing people from trying to kill themselves, it's not worth it. Even I know how it is to be in school. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. Yeah, the school teachers can be mean. But they're like that for a reason. They know how it is out there. If you want your diploma bad enough, and your middle school kids and all especially, you'll sit there and learn just as quickly as those above you in the next grade over. Remember, they care about you just as much as they do. Carrying on. Let's read an interesting story. We're going to read about a princess falling in love. The Princess and the Frog, something old and something new. See that? Alright. Okay, for those who have yet to get it through a computer and deploy. I hope this helps you come home safe to those that love you and those that miss you a great deal. From a dad who knows what it's like. New Orleans was buzzing with exciting news. Princess Naveen and Tiana were getting married. Everyone gathered to welcome the king and queen into town for the ceremony. Tiana was nervous about the meeting. Naveen's parents, but the king and queen were very kind to her. The queen gave Tiana royal helpers to plan the wedding. You see that? I'm bringing it close up for you. There you go. Look at that amazing illustration. Quite an illustration for weddings. Ta-da! Soon the royal helpers visited. They told Tiana what her wedding should be like. Well, do this and this and this. No one asked Tiana what she wanted. Later, Tiana asked her friend Charlotte for advice. Don't want to upset the king and queen, but I'm not sure I like what the royal helpers have planned. It's your wedding. You should do what you want, Charlotte said. So Tiana made her first wedding decision. She asked Charlotte to be her maid of honor. Later that day, Tiana's mother had a special surprise. I'd like to make your dream wedding dress for you. She said, showing Tiana a picture of a gown she had designed. What do you think of this one? Oh, Mama, that's perfect, Tiana explained. See the drawing? Look at that. Princess Naveen Lewis, who was secretly planned the music for the wedding reception. The royal helpers were truth-born music. Naveen told us the perfect music should be jazzy and fun. It should make Tiana feel like dancing. I want to serve all of our favorite foods, Tiana said. Let's start with gumbo. Everyone else had gone to bed. Tiana sneaked into the Loplo's kitchen to work on the research menu with Charlotte. When they had finished cooking, Charlotte said, Tia, every bride needs something old, something new, something broad, something blue. So here's your something blue. She gave Tiana a beautiful blue necklace. The next day, Tiana chased the royal helper. Thank you for sharing your ideas, Tiana, but I already have everything I need. The royal helpers were surprised. They thought the princess wouldn't want the wedding plan for her. Just then, the Queen of Meldonia walked into the room. Why do the royal helpers look so confused? The Queen asked. Tiana looked at the floor nervously. Would the Queen be angry about Tiana's wedding plans? But when Tiana explained her ideas for the wedding, the Queen smiled. I'm not upset at all. I should have known would enjoy planning this personally. Then the Queen opened the box she was carrying. I do have one request. Would you wear that at the ceremony award on the day I wedding? The King, Tiana, was honored to borrow the Queen's tiara. Soon it was time for the final fitting of Tiana's wedding gown. It was stunning, and best of all, she could feel her mother's love in every stitch. Everything seemed perfect, but Tiana missed her father the night before the wedding. She stood on the balcony and gazed at the evening stars. She was sad that her father could not be at the ceremony because I knew her father's love would always be there for her. So you're looking at her dad, thinking of her dad. Oh, your dad's always there when you least expect him to be. Right there now. That's what I tell my son. Even in prayer. That's for all you kids out there who want parents, never had parents. Growing up 3D. Don't worry, you're not alone. And you're not the last. The next day, Charlotte Swallow walked in and down the aisles in her bouquet. She carried her. It's from her dad, you know. Father's favorite old spoon. She wore the new gown. Often moms ask her, Dads, would that guy treat them, my kids as his own? Without question. That's what a real friend does. Bob from the Queen and Loyalty's Blue. Of course, they already know the answer. Duh. Blue necklace on her bell. As the ceremony ended, Tiana knew that no matter how wonderful her wedding plans were, it was love that has made it a perfect day. Tiana and Naveen left the church hand in hand. All New Orleans turned out for their first appearance and their first dance. You see that? They're getting squared away. Quite the crocodile surprise. From gumbo to bigness, the wedding guests enjoyed Princess China's cooking. As Tiana and Naveen took the first bite of the delicious cake, they shared the sweetness of their new life together. The end. Ta-da! Let's see here. That's true. Loving one another is a beautiful gift, kids. You can never go wrong with sharing love for one another. Some kids don't know how to share. Well, then you gotta show them how. Maybe they weren't taught. That's what you call human nature. Not just in movies or Walt Disney or bookstores or Barnes and Nobles. People I care about. If you want something done right, sometimes you have to go out there and do it yourself. Often parents overlook or sometimes misguide themselves. Unsure of such things out there. How do you know? If you don't try. Amazing as that is. Remember that God is there for you, whether you know it or not. Let's go over some photos here. An amazing book. Courtesy of Melting Way, 10-year journey through our endangered polar regions. Come out, see. But first, remember story hour for you toddlers like my son. Tuesday, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. for infants in preschool. You see that? Courtesy of Bar. Also, for your parents, don't forget, if your toddler may be needing extra insulin for those who are diabetic. What's the best home remedy from a grandmother who's a nurse? Cinnamon, that's right. It helps regulate sugar glucose levels, gives your children time to get to Walgreens or your nearest pharmacy or nurse on call. God bless. Something, a few pointers during cold cough season, Grandma Tom. And you read about them. You see this amazing book? You can get to your local bookstore. That's right. Hello. The environmentalist as myself, wildlife activist, trying to bring back endangered birds around here. Not just Canadian geese that fly over. Amazing. You see that, folks? Look at this. Alright. show you this. Look at this Antarctica. The ship that things come to. Great glacier scores found eastern Greenland, August 2006. Glaciers lead a very tumultuous life. They travel downslope toward the sea. They are constantly being shifted, pulled, and churned in numerous directions. This particular glacier displays the many layers of art that has chiseled graded from rock it slowly grinds over. The black stripes are an indication of the many ways that ice has fallen jostled over the earth. You see that? Walking on frozen sea ice. Look at that. My Prince Albert Valley Phone. You see that? Monsieur Glacier. Amazing. One point on my tiny rickety old ship, my cabin was close to the engine room, and my tiny porthole leaped water as waves crashed against it. Dizzyingly displayed, the ship was pulled out of service. In 2010, it sat in St. John's, Newfoundland for 2 years. The little boy of Orlov's decommissioning was fraught with problems. The ship eventually became floating derelict the North Atlantic Ocean in 2030, believed to have sunk. You see that? Amazing photo. You don't just see it naturally. Those who came to see it for themselves, Eastern Greenland, August 2006. One of these things that kept me coming back to the Arctic was the dreamlike days of absolute calm. On such days, the sea was a silver mirror, and the sun's beautiful blanket wrapped around me. In this particular day, we showed our small rubber boats up onto the floe and stood on thin ice, feeling quite precarious over it. You see that? Ta-da. Some icebergs, kids grow underwater, often move underwater, unforeseen. Like some, and some just fall off the sides of Texas, like one a while ago. Destination unknown. And that's an iceberg. Beautiful, is it not? But treacherous, especially if a ship runs right into it. I think some ships hold. So you must watch out for some things. They come crashing off cliffs. The different phases of time. Juan Carlos, the expedition geologist, told me in his nearly thick Colombian accent that the stone was looking at what was some of the oldest exposed granite on the planet, estimated to be 3.66 billion years old. The glacier that rests along the stone face is near a shallow former sun. It's still a little larger over its average setting. As ice cracks, breaks, and melts away, and we see that it retreats. Feels like something more. I feel small. As I see the tiny boat without passengers against the blue eye, they look pulling against the ancient stone that withstands its own way, the carving, the grain bearing skulls of its slow dance without. Amazing, is it not? The things we did and we cannot forget. Environmentalists also come upon stuff barren as wasteland. Some bold, steam, stuff that should never be dumped, yet recycled. Things we did and we cannot forget. Not far from the old overturned whaling boat lies the remains of 550 beluga white whales. The Dutch name for this place harkens back to the late 17th century publisher in Amsterdam that was known for its nautical charge. Early exploration of the Arctic was driven primarily to discover new whaling grounds. Men who traveled here to work as early as 1604 were required to bring their own coffin As there are no trees on Svalbard, the Dutch ceased whaling in the area after 1770, like a certain ship captain of mine who's been all through that area numerous times trying to prevent whaling. The British kept, a good friend of mine, kept as it, and his whole crew, God bless. Early 19th century, after the bowhead whales became rare, overleaved the Commandante for Ross Antarctic Station, King George Island, Antarctica, December 2007. Russian coal mining settlement of Barentsburg. Svalbard 2010. Barentsburg is still a functional coal mining settlement with 500 full-time Russians and European miners living in Soviet dwellings. The miners are known to run out of food and supplies, which are shipped in from Russia. You see that? Treacherous and unmerciful sometimes landscaping can be. Right down to the pink. How many of you have been to SeaWorld or your local water park? Hmm? Your local zoo? You should go sometime. There's a zoo area in most towns, most cities. Even in Louisville. Even in Clarksville. Nashville, there's a zoo. God bless. Smoky Mountains, Whitefish, Aquarium. Dollywood. Can't go in there. Polar Bells. The end. For more on that, you can check it out at your local bookstore or get it online. Much love to you all. Those who are not in bed by now, I hope to God you eventually do go to bed. It will save your fun. I don't rush. Remember, don't drive your parents too crazy. That's my job. They need something to keep them feeling amused. Not the cookies or the junk food or the movies you were watching the previous night. God knows. You all thought you had Shrek down pat. Wait till you see my room. You'll never come out of there if you're watching Cartoon Network all day long. Forget it. Me and your mom and everybody else. These kids are. How many people watch cartoons all day on Saturday in the morning? I would do that without even question. Yeah, at all. Carrying on. Fergie Confidential, but first we'll say a prayer to all of you. You kids out there, especially those around the world, those in London, Ireland, Scotland, Newfoundland, Dutchland, all kinds of countries. You thought you were alone. You might want to rethink that picture. You're never alone in Cape Town. Just when you come a praying, here comes a calling, responding in prayer. I make sure God hears those prayers, kids. You are not alone. You're always found wanted and loved. Right. Not just for your family and your friends. Those at school, those that miss you a great deal. You thought no one noticed. Oh, I know. So when you go to school, feel happier knowing that someone actually cares about you. Someone wanted to give you a hug a great deal. And I wish I could hug every single one of you young and old. Just to help you get through school. Sometimes we all need a hug. Sometimes we all need reassurance. Sometimes we need someone to cry on. Someone to grab hold of and watch the day go by. Someone to check on. I know how it feels. We all need to be missed once in a while. Life is very fragile. It's not till you miss out on something then you realize you wish sometimes you could repeat that day or month. And Enjoy the rest of the day with those you love, as it should be. Even over hot cocoa or a cup of coffee with your or soda pop with your camping gear, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, people I support, especially here in Kentucky. And I say your prayers for the night. May God watch you over you. Sing a little song, that's my favorite. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound would save a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Would save a soldier like me. How's that for? Not bad. What's my signature song at church? Announcing my presence to the world. Who's it by? Country singer. Who grew up eating sugar half the time. Very humble origin. She knows me by name. I keep her running all the time. DJ Casanova. Goes like this. You ready? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. God bless the child who is risen. Hallelujah. Oh, that really got her attention. Hallelujah. God bless the child who is risen. Because it's true. Jesus passed away and was reborn for us all. Obviously cares for day and night. Say your prayers, may God watch over me. Oh Lord, as you're on your knees by your bedside. May God watch over your friends, your families, those that miss you, those that love you, right down to your teachers that help you night and day. God bless them. Those nice little hearts, especially those single ones. Hubba. I don't know if I would fit in that little kindergarten school chair. I'd probably end up breaking it. I wouldn't want that to happen. Not a good gift. And I don't think I'm here behind a ferret friend of mine. I wouldn't even be fit being 6 foot. I'm sure your teacher could improvise by sitting on the floor next to all of you. Just remember, Care Bear cares. Say your prayers before bed, knowing that I'm always watching, always close. Watching over all of you, and God knows those who are deployed. I know how their parents feel. It's not hard. Just remember, just because mommy and daddy are away from home, serving their country and the world, trying to help a nice little boy, a little girl on the other side of the world get a taste of what you have, doesn't mean they're not coming home real soon. Especially to all those that love you and miss you. Get back here. So say your prayers, and God watch over you. When you hold you tight, you're never too far away. Or when you wake that you have a good day in school, educating those young minds of yours. Much love, darling. Y'all can get up now and go to bed. I said, don't drive your mom and dad too crazy. All your friends. Much love's right here at home in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. God bless you all, especially you single parents out there. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes to even the married couple with 20 kids. One more kids. What was the right one? Her mouth wide open. God bless y'all. I don't know how you do it. Just the scene on TLC. Much love, darling. Y'all stay warm out there. God bless y'all. Carrying on. Fergie Confidential for those of you who sometimes don't listen to dear old dad. I can only relate to why. I'm just glad he's not grown up like I did. Rebel with a cause. You in the news channel versus me eating vegetables? Good luck, Dad. I make your nightmares come true. Me foaming at the mouth. Followed by going to get the neighbor's dog when you weren't looking. Yay! Wait, hey, come here. Oh, my bad, Dad. You weren't talking about you. Oh, yeah. Oh, Dad, can I go play now? Cool beans. Wait, wait. Gentlemen, breadcrumb linings? Oh, boy. No way, no how. You're in the news, good luck on that one. I make it to the point you had to stand there and beg. Sometimes you have to mix it in with the food or the fruit. Else they're gonna eat it, especially cough medicine. People pulling out tricks here just to help a little boy feel better, a little girl running a fever, or Tylenol, what have you. They won't eat it by itself. No way, no how. Few tricks, Dad knows. How to outsmart those minds of yours instead of spitting it at you like, what are you trying to do? Torment me or something? Wasn't important kind of expression on their face. Wasn't important to get some sort of train, and we both managed to scrape through the course. So much is talked about slowing ranges, but we were practical, carrying on. But last weekend, if you were paying attention, did you watch the video? She tried to tell you a few mornings, yeah? Miss Redhead, darling damsel, is watching this right now, and her cheeks are turning bright red. Golly, imagine what Queen Diane is saying out there while she's blushing now. Can't say. You didn't tell you, so you thought you had them all figured out. Now you know how the rest of the bachelorettes feel. My bad. He tells it like it is. And remember what Kids What's my favorite saying? Daddy's gonna go over, but yeah, play Xbox right away. Take over. Go over the puppy face. Cam. Ahem. Was important to get some sort of trade. We both managed to scrape through the course. So much is talked about small ranges, but we were practical and knew we had to come work, and girls' money was very tight. Fergie was much more likely to be rushing to a corner cafe for a takeaway hamburger than sipping champagne. Her assessment card did not hop on her slowly position at the bottom of the class with Charlotte. Bright, bouncy, red-headed, bit slapdash. But she had an incentive and presently which she will well use to her advantage when she gets older, accepts responsibility happily. Yet Sarah still combined her deepest thoughts to Jane 12,000 miles away in the outback. And in one letter even asked what's the point of going on, asking herself question, but she was not a depressant, and her mood picked up enormously once she started going out with her first serious boyfriend. Kim Smith, Bingham, 6 foot tall, and 2 years older, more worldly wise. They had met briefly when Sarah visited Argentina, where Kim was working on a ranch before starting a job in the city. But it was Kim's sister Laura who brought them together back in London. They hit it off and soon became an item amongst her Chelsea friends. Sarah might invited him home to Drummer Down Farm to meet Ronald's soon half-brother Andrew towards Kim and Sarah. Started a loyalty and relationships with followed her into married life. She was a one-man woman from the start, says that well-placed royal source. When she fell in love, she felt very deeply and wasn't unfaithful. Kim saw things differently. We were too young for people to have thought of us a larger couple, except when it was time to worldwide the video Ronald was that picked up on this hesitance from beginning because he was soon urging Sarah to accompany him on a visit to St. Jane and Axon Australia. It was an experience Sarah would remember for years. And all that fine when the time came out to cut off her big brewer. If Sarah had found her mother's new lifestyle amongst the Spanish-speaking Argentinians who traveled to skirting, Jane's chosen home look of warning was positively primitive like all Bushmen house. I love to yarn to Sarah about his rough and ready life in the back of beyond, and the child safely of rural Hampshire. It had sounded quaintly romantic, but even Jane's descriptive letters had not fully prepared for her. What she was now seeing for her really was difficult. It was a rundown L-shaped, just a wooden shack with a patio. And nets to keep out the flies, said Poppy. Smith, whose later worked there, were 4 bedrooms and the house was furnished with a plain wood covers, tables and chairs. There were just their family pictures on the walls and the cabinet full of photo trophies. The only carpet was in the living room, and that was threadbare. How many women would go bananas watching a bachelor read to them? Notting Hill can't have all the fun. Hugh Grant, God bless him. Julia Roberts. There was no air conditioning in the middle of a park. Keep reading on. To take the sting out of the heat. Just enough hot water to draw 2 baths in the toilet was an outdoors dining. Which attracted the snakes Sarah dreaded. There was a hole in the wall of the house where Alex had blasted an intruding black snake with a shotgun. Ronald was thankful to find that few luxuries, including a television set and a video recorder, he found reruns of the 2 Ronnies even in black and white. A welcome diversion from the monotony of farm life. I'd break my neck to get into town just to post the letters, said Sarah. In a typical Outback style, every day began at 6 a.m., which began sausage and eggs. Sounds familiar. Lunch of cold lamb, followed at noon, and dinner of roast lamb. I always get that feeling. Why wasn't I just here 12 hours ago? Copy, okay. Moving on. A lot of parents can relate to this. Eggs at lunch and cold lamb, followed at noon, dinner of roast, lamb roast, pumpkin roast, potatoes was finished by 9 p.m. Sarah wondered how Jane could bear such a lonely existence. The sisters sometimes rode out through the fields of green young wheat to meet. Eyes for smoke, the traditional bushman's break from work. When someone boils a blackened billy, if the bush iris isn't too high in cake, and scones are not considered too fancy for bluffs to eat, kangaroos crashed out of the scrub, and flocks of pink and white cockatoos screamed overhead Jane. It seemed to the visitors was happy. She had settled down to married life and was looking forward to raising a family. The big event during Sarah's stay was Jane's 21st birthday party, which the family celebrated with an open house party. 300 people turned up, some from homesteads hundreds of miles away, to crack a few ties with Jane's posh Riley's running room. The nearest town, North Star, was 20 miles distant, and Goodwindwinny, the nearest biggest town, even further across the border in Queensland, but it was worth the effort to meet a genuine dinky-dee English officer who knew the Queen. Ronald did not disappoint him. He played some bone-crunching games of polo with the locals at the embroidered North Star Polo Club on the rock hard pitch. When Sarah eventually left with a warning for Sydney on her way home, she was asked to write something in the visitors' book she scrubbed. Pretty fair dinkum, which translates as room for improvement. Back in London, Sarah looked for work and spent 3 months the office of flatmates, unlimited accommodation sharing agency in appropriately Kangaroo Valley, as Earl's Court was known. Then despite her St. Trinian-style introduction. She landed her first day job with Durden Smith Communications. She was a complete contrast, not a well-groomed application, but she was keen to take on Neil Durden Smith to utilize her doing blossom with a safety pin. This up marked a public races of devastation at the very epicenter of Islam Major Kingdom. Harriet's was on the way. Harvey making her salary was $4,000. She could afford to buy the clothes and accessories she was really wanting. Out went country demon and in skirts and came skirts, jackets, although she sometimes looked completely uncoordinated as she nailed along slow street on her bicycle. Darling damsels. She didn't really care what she looked like, and yet when she get it together, she was stunning, said Christina Dunham, who became Sarah's friend although she was several years older, even though she was a big built girl. She would look striking when she dressed up for a party. One of Sarah's personal trademarks made its first appearance. She would put her hair in a big black bow, said Christina. She looked really superb. The boss, Neil Dermot Smith, was the urban husband of Judy Chalmers, the television presenter in this county, including BMW Trust House Forte and Garage. The Royal Jewelers, she wrote her secretary to assistant Pierre Connon, one of the senior accountant executives. She adored the work which involved carrying the corporate message of her clients to as many people as she could at the receptions and presentations. She made friends with television celebrities Sue Lawley, Angela Rubin, Clive Moore, Nelson Moore, and David Jakes. It was lively office, and the staff liked to enjoy themselves in a less formal setting of local wine bars and bistros. We used to go to the Basil Street wine bar next door. That was our drinking haunt, recalled Christina. Sarah liked her drinking wine by the bucket. I can't remember if it was white or red. Don't think she cared as long as it was wine. For food, we used to stockpile. And we lived in Harvey, Nicholas, and sometimes shopped at H.A. Rod's. God bless you, Harry and William, watching this while playing ping pong at the same time. Interesting. Grandma doesn't miss a thing of that. We were all members reading on the Pear Club in Basil Street Hotel. It was for the ladies only. You could leave your shopping there, and it got gaining its name because one of the waitresses was dormant had a pet parrot. And every time one of these frighteningly grand old ladies walked past it, would say, "Go on, give us a bit." We used to pop in there. Or was it Polo? The office was expanding. It was typical of Sarah that she recommended Charlotte Emden, her fellow Johnson secretary, college for a job. Claire Johnson, daughter of the BBC radio cricket commentator. Brian Johnson was also one of the bright young things on the staff. As Christina put, anyone who wasn't anyone there, my dear, was fantastic atmosphere. Once a month, Kate, little George, God bless you too. We would have done ring on buck fizz and crossings. And Neil obviously go through who's doing what, discusses any ideas we could come up with. I used to make sure all the girls were in on time. Some of them would come in late after being on the tube the night before. Sarah was very good. She could come in on time. She had gossip. She could never really complain. Occasionally she'd come in and to me and say, "God, I need a fag. I'm bloody fed up." But she rarely let anything get her down. One thing that annoyed some of the other girls in the office was in a number of personal calls Sarah received from friends eager to arrange luxurious night out or a skiing trip. She was politely ticked off and called stop. She had been from Lady Diana Spencer, whom Sarah had been bumping into regularly, when she motored down to Polar in her blue VW at weekends. They first met at Susie and Hector's home near Cadre Porter after a polo match. Charles and Diana dropped in. Sarah was visiting. The two young women started talking. The friendship had developed from there. Diana, who was 19, and worked at kindergarten Pelham Club, wanted to talk about her none-too-smooth relationship with Prince Charles. And Sarah, she had found a confidant who would listen plenty to her problems, then give her the benefit of her advice. The young woman would leave her for shopping expeditions in Harvey Nicks and discuss tactics for lasting landing the biggest catch in the room over coffee in the cafeteria. Their girl talk to Knight's bridge at the decade came to a close, confined Diane as the most influential friend Sarah ever made. Her intervention in Sarah's life had only just begun. Sarah thrived on her experience at Durden Smith Communications, but PR was a cutthroat businessman beneath its transparent geniality. She learned some important lessons. Ken Smith, Bingham had moved to Verbier to work in a sky store, and when the Durden Smith told her he was telling his company, Sarah decided it was time to move on. She was already planning to spend Christmas with her mother in South America, and when Sarah asked her, Charlotte jumped at the chance to join the backpacking grand tour. The two friends spent hours pointing over maps to plot the most interesting and cheapest route they set off. In the autumn of 1980, after Rollins Sue hosted a cocktail party at the Berkeley Hotel to celebrate Sarah's 21st birthday, champagne glasses clanged as guests drank a toast to Sarah and wished her a happy birthday in bon voyage. She cried too, Casanovas, leaving her workmates behind, but the exciting prospects that had filled her joy with their joy she did not bother to contain. Travel and distance meant freedom. Her philosophy of taking life as it came making the most of it was already firm, ingrained. Alforca now existed in more than the name alone. Susie and Hector cleared some of the land and planted saplings which was growing faster and shorter. We worked like mules. Susie recalled it was built by Blythe for living quarters. A prefabricated wooden chalet had been built as a forerunner to the grand ranch house that would one day stand there. Sarah and Charles, as Sarah called her friend, enjoyed a traditional English Christmas dinner. There, with all the trimmings despite the vast distance from home. In fact, the only link with the outside world and the high point of the festive season was a radio phone call from drummer Don Farm to say that Sue has given birth to her first daughter, Alice. She had asked Sarah to be a godmother. As the new year got underway, the girls shouldered their rucksacks and headed north by bus, sleeping rough and living on. Burgers are free, tapas and roadside cantinas, and a long journey to the top of the Argentina spur that Justin Paraguay and Brazil. Here they marveled at the Guaza Falls, one of the most spectacular sights in South America. Who knows about that? Remember Brazil? I just sounding about Iguaza Falls. There you go. Mom's place to get tour. Niagara Falls can't handle it. Should go there sometime. The roads were bumpy and the buses were old, said Charlotte. We shared our journey with farms, chickens, roughing it very little more. We stayed 4 days and in on those buses, traveling thousands of miles, without even being able to change our clothes. Outside Rio, the girls looked almost deserted, and we ran out of money in the middle of nowhere. Charlotte recalled we simply sat there on our backs, sleeping and waiting for the next bus to come along. I wouldn't do it today. It's too far, too dangerous. Safely in Rio, the girls welcome hot bath, clean cloths, and comfortable beds. At the home and friends of the Ferguson family, Copenhagen, the golden beach of Bossa Nova, fame lost somewhere so low where they saw the city's crippling poverty. Homeless urchins who had turned to drugs and crime roamed the streets, one step ahead of the death squads who hunted them for a month. They were glad to fly out of Rio for the United States, where they took a Greyhound bus ride to the ski resort of Squaw Valley, overlooking Lake Tahoe in the Rockies. After working as childminders and cleaners in the family Charlotte, until the season ends, Sarah Charlotte flew to Florida to meet up again with Susan, an actor. Interesting area of thought, kind of like Gone with the Wind, another favorite of mine. Old movie. Reading on. You women thought you had me all figured out. Flew to Florida to meet up against with Susie, the actor who was in a great demand as a player At the Palm Beach Polo Club, Sarah was in considerably pain from her skiing accident, which had damaged an ankle she needed a rest. As they followed the girls' journey to New Orleans to hear the jazz along Bourbon Street in the French Quarter. Hobbling along, Sarah knew it was time to go home. She had been away 6 months. Not only was she missing her father, who listened with some consternation which she regaled him with her adventures. But she was also missing out the biggest royal event for absolutely young. On 5th February 1981, Prince Charles had formally proposed to Lady Diana Spencer in his blue sitting room at Buckingham Palace. 19 days later, their engagement was announced. Diana, her powerful mother, was to be the Princess of Wales. God bless. Very bon vivants. What do you do about your wives? Prince Charles question. From a quote. Diana had been so sure she was destined to marry Prince Andrew that she kept her program besides her bed. When she attended the Institute of Alpine Wittenberg near Gstaad in Switzerland in 1978, I saved myself for Prince Andrew. She told more than one person who inquired about her romantic interest in the dashing young man with the open top, Steinway smile, Sarah in complete contrast became a star pupil at what the Tyler called McNally's exclusive Swiss finishing school, La Chalette at Verviers and the Chateau Montagnier. If Switzerland were an inferior sort of Scotland, as one 19th century traveler put it, Verviers in the 1980s was a correlation to the more glamorous careers of Gstaad or St. Moritz. Diana, one term at finishing school, did little more than prove her intermediate French and skiing. Sarah learned much more staying in the country, different curriculum. It was the holiday home of Grand Prix millionaire Patty McNally and what was called Chelsean skis that Sarah completed a very necessary phase of her educational obstacle course in relationships. McNally had few peers in knowledge of the subject, and by the time Sarah left 3 years later, she had graduated with honors. Sarah contacted Diana in May 1981, soon after her return from her grand tour in the Americas. Charles' bride had moved into a nursery section at Buckingham Palace to be near him after a brief stay with Queen Mother in Clarence House. Diana was delighted to have someone who understood the royal family to confide in Buckingham Palace. She made overawed her, not too much because of its size, but more the atmosphere, which testified to what it really was, the Queen's seat of solar and power. When Charles' room was away, she felt cut off. When he was home, he often dined alone with the Queen. When she ventured out, her companion was her police bodyguard Paul Officer, whose constant presence annoyed her. Officer had accompanied Prince Charles on many of his foreign trips, and had Diana been less resentful, more receptive. He might have told her the old wives' tale. During an Australian tour, Charles was being driven along a post-war outback road away beyond the most outpost civilization. Through the shimmering haze, he spotted a group of road menders toiling in the century-plus heat of the long and winding road. Stopped here. Charles ordered the driver. I must speak to those men. Astonished, the chauffeur pulled to a halt, and Charles alighted. The road menders in Jackie House, singlets, cotton shorts, and dusty boots leaning on their picks and shoveled out as the hard to the round approached. It might be very lonely out here. Charles said to them, what about your wives? What do you do with your wives? He questioned. Wives, the best looked at each other, puzzled by his pronunciation. Then one of them recognized Charles, whispered to the others, it's the Princess of Wales, you mugs, wanted us to wave him. So as a flustered Charles climbed back into the car. The road gang waved their sweaty straw hats and knotted handkerchiefs. They fell into the distance even at an early stage. Diana felt a similar isolation from her husband to leave. She was needy. She craved affection from home. Charles had learned little from his past experience. Without him, he could not comfort Diana. because he simply did not know how. A vital page had how to relate to other people. Had been misread in the instruction manual. God bless you, Queen. Which piles Quartier Island who's also listening. His beloved Uncle Dickie, the man of Lord Louis Mountbatten, referred to in raising the young Charles of Queens around the water. 3 years before Angela was born. Taking a look out there. Reading on. Charles was enrolled at Hill House International School in Hans Place, Knightsbridge. The infant school had distinctly worn a knee breech and matching jacket, but on his first day, Charles, timid quiet, was the only child to arrive in gray overcoat with a black velvet collar. My father was the chauffeur who drove him to his school in the morning and picked him up in the afternoon, and one who was raised the Royal Mute section of Buckingham Palace. And a choir or lady in waiting and a detective were always in the car. One day, Charles, who was 8 years old, had made a little for anything else that the boy could be given at left home. He lived not far away in the living quarters at Westminster Abbey. The courier said no one else was allowed to the car under any circumstances. Those were the rules. Charles had to drive off, leaving his friend behind on the pavement. My father kept a diary and he recorded the incident because it showed how Charles was being brought up. He felt that the powers were putting the royal children into two worlds. In one sense, they were letting Charles go out into the real world, but he didn't have any equal chance. If anything went slightly wrong, he was grabbed back in the old world. Charles didn't understand what was happening. My father feared it would lead to difficulties in his life because he was neither one thing nor the other. Anne was the first girl Charles had to contend with. She was bullying him terribly. She used to put sticks between his legs to trip him up. Continued the former muse resident. My father went up to Balmoral to drive the royal family. He said that Anne used to lay traps for Charles in the ground. She was very much the tomboy, a real little girl, very energetic and fearless. Charles was very much the passive one, under the tutelage of the Germanic Lord Mountbatten. Charles learned to bite before he was bitten. His nickname for Diana was Pumpkin, an affectionate but unkind reference to her plump cheeks and puffy fat. It hurt Diana more than she let on. She yearned for some quick-witted girl talk to relieve the stress. The sudden had dramatic change in her life and put her nerves even more on the edge of the wedding. They approached. Sarah was happy to oblige. The two young women got on so well that Diana asked Sarah if she would be with Jack as one of her ladies in waiting. Once she was carrying on her duties as president of the wedding. Sarah eagerly agreed, Major Ron. Although Charles didn't pull a matter, she was surprised. He only known her for a year. She said. He said to his daughter, but Diana was serious. She was shortlisted Sarah in the recognition she put forward to the Queen. Her choice was vetoed on the ground that Sarah had 21, was too young, and therefore presumed to be unsuitable for warlike, even then when the Windsors had a standoffish attitude. Towards Sarah, she was let down gently through and greeted Charles with her usual cheerful smile. She went to Smith Lawn to watch him to play in the last polo as we watched at 5 true contests between England and Spain. There, she had her father was guest at the wedding, John, 29 July 1908, St. Paul's Cathedral. When Diana moved into Kensington Palace, one of the first people to whom she gave her private telephone number was Sarah. Diana was clearly determined to keep it in touch. Sarah's own domestic arrangements were more suited with her early station. She had moved in with Carolyn Begsworth Smith at 49 Gardens, Clapham, just across the river from Chelsea, but south of the border that divides Slowden from its less than fashionable neighbors. Carolyn was well connected. Her cousin Anne, a solid and reliable woman, had become one of Diana's ladies in waiting. When Sarah see the two young women got on famously from the start, Carolyn encouraged Sarah to stick to her diet without restoring to any of the unkind except usually accompanying such suggestions. She also advised that on the kind of clothes that would most flatter her voluptuous figure. Fashion show was not Sarah's strong point, and because of her fair skin, she preferred natural, unmade-up. She became a must-sought-after newcomer at the party scene in the Edwardian house, which Colonel brought provided a perfect sanctuary whenever their social lives began to end. One of her favorite restaurants was the Plastic Restaurant, Trattoria popular, with yuppies and breasts and rides. At birthday parties, the waiter dashed, hanging on Sassoon's sweet table, recording happy birthday to you. So one night, the wooden dinner chair Sarah was sitting on a brook during some righteous celebration run. The minute she became famous, the restaurant's owner, Miss Bastelia, took it upstairs to her supply, and now remains there a cherished possession. Money, however, was always in the short supply. Sarah went job hunting, and a quiet quest for work led her to the Times, whose new profiteer was Rupert Murdoch. Though at home she found William Drummond, an art dealer based in Covent Garden, that advertised for a secretarial assistant. Sarah Roberts Gilmore and Pleasant Tech Prime. The organization will back up Drummond needed for his love for his savage competitive world of buying and selling paintings. Drummond was one criticism of her was what she spent a lot of time on the telephone. It eventually came out that she was a friend of the Princess of Wales. I suddenly realized that many other phone calls she was there from her were from her. He asked Diana, who was expressing Prince William was weak from morning sickness and close proximity to Cortez. I wore her down and eroded her self-confidence according to a highly placed royal source. Sarah would drive over to Kensington Palace in her blue Volkswagen to cheer up when Diana was well. They shopped in Harvey Stick and took coffee in the cafeterias below. Sometimes Diana visited the house and nominated her. At the end of the time to help Diana out, Sarah agreed to let Prince Charles escort to a dinner on the Savoy and see performances at the evening scores in which Barry Humphries placed the culture touches Sarah Les Patterson. Sarah wasn't allowed to sit next to Charles and Kristen Dunham. She had to sit next to the side or front row of God Barry Spitzall. All a real place, and we were showered the whole time, Sarah told me. Sarah left Drummond and started part-time jobs because she wanted to spend as much time as possible skiing Burberry. One of the jobs she was Kristen who moved out for Durham. Smith Communication in the New World of video cassette promotions are formed a company called RSVP, Red Star Video Promotion. And Sarah came join us, said Kristen. The faraway book of warning. Jane kept in touch with Sarah's exciting new life by letter and phone. She was now had a call letter from for a company, a son called Seamless, who was born at Good and Windy Hospital. In December 1980, she understood the role Sarah was fulfilling as Diana's soulmate. We had the opportunity when we were growing up to see how members of the royal family lived, she said. Loyalty to her own family becomes the cornerstone of Sarah's life was severely tested with the Falklands War broke out in April 1982. She learned from her mother that Hector Barnett, her test had enlisted in the Argentinian forces. It was so that Prince Andrew, a family friend, was taking part in the combat that made it so difficult for her. The heartbeat was the scandal surrounding her mother's desertion came back with renewed spike at a time when it was impossible for Sarah to defend her without seeing endorsed the military deal. Even the fact that Hector never wore arms did not help. Major Ron still had friends serving on the armed forces, and knew the casualties came in all of them. Venom came to the south. I'm gonna stop there, y'all, and hit the hay. God bless everybody over there and around the world. You Scottish, Italians, French Canadians, Africans. All those that care about holding the fort, watch your health, stay warm out there. God knows it's cold outside, especially here in Kentucky, here at my home, and stay hydrated. Much love from R to you. Stay tuned.